Okay, now children, last time I explained you what exactly fraction means. Yeah, what is fraction, what is numerator, what is denominator, how can we figure out fraction for a shaded part, unshaded part, both. You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
So I am going to build up further. Now children, fractions are of different types. 1 second.
Ma'am, Admina is raising hand. Yes, ma'am. Now is not cracking.
Admina, is there a doubt?
No, ma'am, I forgot.
Okay. Okay. Now children, there are different types of fractions. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, I know I changed it, boy Bobby, right now only. I forgot to change it today. It shows Olympiad success by default. Now children, if I have 1 in the numerator, I am not worried about denominator. Denominator can be anything other than 1. If I have 1 in the numerator and more than 1 in the denominator, any number which is bigger than 1 can be my denominator, but 1 has to be there in my numerator. Then you people, if you want to eat something in snacks, you can eat while I'm explaining, because I'm not giving you today break of 5 minutes. Okay. Whenever 1 is there in the numerator, we call that fraction as unit fraction. The name of that fraction is unit fraction. A fraction with the numerator as 1 is called a unit fraction. Okay, denominator can be anything more than 1. Why not equal to 1? Because if I say numerator is 1 and denominator is also 1, then it becomes a whole number, which is 1. And a whole number is not a fraction. A fraction comes into picture when it is less than 1. Yes? Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, anything in the denominator which is a number bigger than 1 and 1 in the numerator always gives me a unit fraction. Okay. Now, other type of fractions are if the fractions have same denominator, their numerators are different, but their denominator remains the same. Then we call the fractions as like fractions. For example, I can say 4 by 6 and I can say 2 by 6 and I can say 1 by 6. See, all their denominators are same, but their numerators are different, right? So all these fractions are called like fractions. But when the fractions have different denominators, then we call the fractions as unlike fractions. For example, 3 by 5 and I can say 4 by 6. Their denominators are different. Their numerators are also different.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
When both the numerators and denominators are different, we call them as what? Unlike fractions.
Unlike fractions.
And when the denominators are same, then we call them as like fractions.
Like fractions.
The fractions have 1 in their numerator always, then we call those fractions as unit fractions.
Ma'am?
Yes, Mukul?
Ma'am, a fraction is division only, right?
Fraction is something when it goes less than 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Ma'am?
The smallest natural number. When it goes below 1, then fractions comes into picture.
Ma'am, in like and unlike are opposite words.
Like and unlike are opposite word. Like says same denominator, unlike says different denominator.
Yes.
They are not at all talking about numerators. They are only talking about denominators. Like says same denominator, unlike says different denominator.
Means they don't like other. Unlike, like means they love like each other. And unlike which is unlike each other.
Yeah, that is another way of remembering. Yes, yes, Ishan.
If we have one in denominators and one also in numerators, so what we will do?
Acha, 1 upon 1 is equal to 1 only. That is whole number. That is not a fraction.
Yes. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, that is a complete whole. When my answer is 1, that means I am talking about a complete whole. Okay, Shan? Okay, now we have more types of fractions also. Proper fraction and improper fraction. Now, what is a proper fraction?
Ma'am, where is the unlike fraction and unit?
What? Where is the unlike fraction and?
In is the unlike and unit fractions.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Please repeat again.
He said where is unlike fraction and
There is unlike fractions and unit fractions.
Here, like fraction, unlike fraction, unit fraction. Okay, these are the 3 fractions which I explained you. Now I am going to proper fraction. Now children, proper fraction means my numerator will always be less than my denominator. Always. When numerator is less than denominator, then I say fraction is a proper fraction. But if it goes the other way around, if my numerator is bigger than my denominator, then it is improper fraction. Am I making sense? When numerator, for example, 4 by 6, my numerator is less than denominator, so it is a proper fraction. If I do it the other way around, if my numerator is 6 and my denominator is 4, then this is an improper fraction.
Ma'am, it is not even a fraction because there are 4 things, and how can we get 6 things out of 4 things?
I will explain, Sanvi. I will explain.
There is no.
Ma'am, your voice was just breaking right now.
Ma'am, how can we?
Ma'am, your voice was breaking right now.
Okay, there I was saying that whenever the numerator is less than the denominator, then the fraction is a proper fraction.
Okay.
Okay, and if the numerator is bigger than the denominator, then the fraction is an improper fraction.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, please explain it again. Your voice is breaking.
But Bacha, my internet connection is completely stable today. I mean,
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you clearly. A little time in my screen. Most of the time you're clear.
because when my internet connection goes unstable, a pop-up comes on my screen that your internet connection is unstable, and I get to know then and there. So I think internet problem is not from my end. Sanvi, am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because the weather is also not, I mean, it was raining sometime back outside, but it is not, the pop-up is not coming on my screen that my internet connection is unstable at all. I'll repeat again. I am repeating everything again before I go further, okay? Whenever numerator is 1 and denominator is more than 1, it can be any number bigger than 1, but numerator is 1, then we call those fractions as unit fractions. Unit means 1 in the numerator. Okay. Whenever the fractions have same denominator, they are called like fractions. Okay. Whenever the fractions have different denominators, they are called unlike fractions.
Oh, ma'am, can I go toilet?
Yes, yes, there you can. Whenever the numerator in a fraction is smaller than the denominator, numerator should be smaller than the denominator, then the fraction is a proper fraction.
Ma'am, I have a question.
1 second, 1 second. I'm just about to finish. And if your numerator is bigger than denominator, then your fraction becomes an improper fraction, which is below. See, look here. A fraction in which the numerator is, okay, children, when your numerator and denominator becomes equal, I will come to that also. But keep in mind that whenever your numerator is bigger than denominator, then the fraction is an improper fraction. If your numerator is equal to your denominator, when the both are same, it becomes 1 as whole number. Because if you divide 4 by 4, what will you get? 1, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever numerator and denominator are equal, then it is a whole number. Then it becomes 1 always, be it any number.
Mama, I have a question.
1 second.
Yes, I have a question.
Kian, is that you or Mukund, is that you?
Ma'am, it's Kian.
Okay, Kian, go ahead.
Ma'am, how is it possible in improper fraction?
I will tell that. I will tell you. Okay.
Ma'am, I also have a doubt.
Yes, bolo Mukund.
Ma'am, unit fractions are fractions that in the numerator 1 comes, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. And unit fractions are also proper fractions. Why? Because when your numerator is 1 and denominator is bigger than 1, automatically they become proper fractions. Right? So unit fractions are always proper fractions. Okay, now this question as Sanvi was also asking and Kian was also asking that, ma'am, how come improper fractions are possible? Improper fractions are possible, children. Why? Because improper fractions are made up of 2 things: whole number and a proper fraction. Improper fraction is made up of whole number and proper fraction. I will give you an example on the whiteboard and tell you how. Boy Bobby, you are raising hand. Is there a doubt, bacha?
Oh, ma'am, can I go to washroom?
Sure. See, in your this data reading material, that is not given. So I am going out of the way and explaining you, okay? Because if you are curious to know, I am ready to explain. Fine, but you might not find that thing in the data that you will receive from Olympiad success. I gave you an example of 6 by 4, correct? And the question popped up in the mind that, ma'am, how is it possible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see, how is it possible? Whatever is my numerator, that is my dividend. Somebody was asking, na, ma'am, fraction is division only. Yes, bacha.
Ma'am, that was Mukund.
Yes, Mukund. Oh, exactly. Fraction is division only. So this is my numerator is my dividend and denominator is my divisor.
So the answer is 1.
No. Can I continue? Can I finish? You people jump into in between only. Now 4 ones are 4. The one who is saying the answer is 1. 1 is not answer. 1 is your quotient. Okay. Now do you see a remainder here, which is 2?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This is the whole number of the fraction. So 6 by 4 is made up of whole number, which is 2, and a proper fraction, which is 1 by 4.
1 by 2.
1 second.
Ma'am, fraction is division only. But the only thing in division and fraction is that the fraction doesn't have any remainder. But in division, there are some remainders in sometimes.
Sorry. Repeat again.
Ma'am, division and fraction is same, but there's just one difference when we divide, sometimes there are some numbers which are the remainder, which do not come in the group. But in fraction, all need to come in the group. There's no remainder in fractions.
In fractions, see, in division, what happens there is when we are able to divide something into equal groups, then there is no remainder. But if something is left out of the group, then remainder comes into the picture.
Okay.
Okay. Achha, children, I need a minute's break. Actually, I have to give medicine to my son. So I'll be back just in a minute. Okay, just 1 minute. If you want to drink water or if you want to go to washroom, you people can go. I'll just be back in a minute.
Hey, hi, you.
Okay, is everyone back?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo. Now, when I divide 6 by 4, children, whatever is my quotient, okay, whatever is my quotient, that is my whole number. Whatever is my remainder, that is my numerator of the proper fraction, and my divisor is always my denominator. Because whether it is an improper fraction or whether it is a mixed fraction, the denominator remains the same. So my quotient becomes my...
Ma'am, your
My voice is breaking.
voice is cracked. No, ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am. Ma'am.
Mukund, it is from your end. So my quotient becomes my whole number and my remainder becomes my numerator. Now, shall I tell you how to change this mixed fraction into an improper fraction? How to change it back to 6 by 4?
Okay, ma'am.
We multiply denominator with whole number. Multiply them. What is 4 into 1?
Ma'am, it's 4.
4. And then
4.
add the numerator to it. 4 plus 2 is
6.
6. So it is back to 6 by 4. This is what you will learn. I thought that you should learn it in grade 3, but your this thing, I mean, in the data, it's not showing. Yes, Alarika, what is it?
No, but what was the I didn't understand a little bit.
Okay, I am giving another example, Alarika. Wait. Kian, what is it, bacha?
What was the answer?
Okay, I am giving another example. Listen to me. The answer was 1 2 by 4, Kian. 1 2 by 4. See, suppose I have 20, okay? And I have 6 here. Okay? 20 doesn't come in the table of 6.
Ma'am, I was disconnected. So can you repeat?
Sure, Mukund. I'm giving another example, Mukund. I'm explaining it using another example. 20 is my dividend and 6 is my divisor.
Okay.
6 3s are 18. That is the number which is less than 20 and which is close to 20 in the table of 6.
Okay, ma'am, we don't have to make the fraction over here. Divide it.
What, Alarika?
I am saying we don't need to make a fraction of this. We need to divide it, right?
Yes. If you want to change improper fraction to a mixed fraction, you'll have to divide. Because when you divide, you get a quotient and a remainder.
I was confused that why we are doing
Division. Okay. No problem. Your quotient becomes your whole number. Your remainder becomes the numerator of the proper fraction and your divisor becomes the denominator. Children, improper fraction is made up of two things: whole number and a proper fraction.
Ma'am, then if we have to change it back to
Okay, multiply these two. Multiply the denominator with whole number. 6 3 are 18. Add numerator to it.
20.
20 upon 6 back to old one. What my original improper fraction was.
That is an improper.
Yeah. Only improper fraction can be changed to a mixed number, or mixed number can be changed to an improper fraction. You cannot do this with a proper fraction.
Ma'am, can the denominator also be a two-digit number?
Denominator can also, yes, it can be a two-digit number. Why not?
And it can be any bigger number.
Yeah, it can be any bigger number. You know, it is division only, so it can be anything. It depends. Okay. The bigger the denominator is, more bigger will be the numerator, because then only it is a mixed fraction, and more bigger will be your whole number. I mean, of course, and more bigger will be the proper fraction then.
We can check in calculator. My mother gives me a question, and when I check it, the calculator says that the question is wrong.
But your calculator will give you an answer in decimals. Calculator doesn't understand this thing, that it has to give an answer in fraction. Once you will learn everything in fractions in grade 4, then in grade 4 you will also learn decimals. Because from fraction only you can go to decimals. Once you do decimals, then comes percentages into picture. Once you do percentage, then comes ratio into the picture, and then it will gonna keep on increasing. So seekhte raho new things every time. Okay, so now I want to check. So everyone is clear with 5 types of fractions?
Yes, ma'am.
Unit, like, unlike, proper, improper. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.